Hey, what up? We're in the car. I am going to say this, and of course, what I'm going to say can look different for everybody, so it's not a one-size-fits-all. But I truly believe that we have to really understand that it's okay that when you're in any type of relationship, of course, that should be defined by you and the other person, because you could be cool with a person, you can be cordial with the person, you could be best friends with the person, right? Even if it's family, whatever. But my point is, in this video, is not to define the type of relationships that you have. You should know those or be trying to figure that out. But I think that it is so okay, especially, I think it's okay across the board, but especially once you begin to reach a certain age, I think sometimes we feel bad or guilty, or we don't feel that we're deserving to be in relationships with people, and it has to be an equal investment. Now understand, I know that I'm using the word equal, which can say that, that can mean different things to different people. But what I'm saying is, of course, the relationship is not going to be the exact same in terms of actions. Meaning, if I buy you a book, your way of showing me through an action that you appreciate me, let's use gifts hypothetically, might not be a book. If I like to express verbally, you may be a person that does not always express verbally. You may express in a different way. But here's what I think is the most important thing when we're talking about an equal investment, because at some point we should get to a place where we're like, you know what? I don't want to just keep giving out and not getting. And I know all you perfect people out there say stuff like, I give out the kindness of my heart. It doesn't matter if nobody does anything for me, and I'm not going to bring up what I do because what I do is out the kindness of my heart. Okay, well, you keep on being that way and never receiving, and let's see how you feel. That's a different video. What I mean by equal investment is, you have two people that love language, if you will, is different. Communication styles are different. How we perceive and process, it's different. That's okay. But equal investment means we should be having a balance. Let's take love language as one example, because there's multiple examples to equal investment when we're talking about relationships. But let's just take love language for an example. If you don't know that test, I would encourage you to go do the test and see where you fall. But again, we know that that's not the end all be all, but for example purposes, let's use that. If my love language, which it's not, but if my love language was gifts, that the description of that is pretty much suggestive that I feel loved when someone gives me a gift. Their action of a gift to me makes me feel loved. And let's say if I have a friend or whoever it is who's on the other side of this dynamic of a relationship, their love language is acts of service, meaning you clean up and without them asking. You wash their car without them asking. Obviously, you want to be having conversations with people, because some people may not be into large gifts. Some people may say, well, acts of service doesn't apply to cleaning the car, but I'm going to tell you what I think acts of service is and the ways that it makes me feel happy. Okay. So once you gain that understanding, it would be unfair for me to say, well, I'm not going to love you. I'm not going to show one action, because there's many. I'm not going to show one action of love with, you told me making your smoothie every day is an act of service, or making a smoothie occasionally. it would be unfair for me to be in a dynamic with a person and say, well, I'm not going to do that because that's just not what I think love is. That's just not what I do. I didn't grow up that way. That doesn't make sense to me. And then that person can't say to me, well, why would me giving you gifts, you don't like big gifts, or you like for nothing gifts, you like little gifts. Why would me doing that make you feel like you're loved? Why would that action make you feel loved? That doesn't make sense to me. Who cares? I'm not going to be going out buying you your favorite lip gloss, buying you your favorite nail polish, buying you your favorite baseball cap or whatever. Why would I do that? That doesn't make sense. So because my love language is acts of service, you're only going to get acts of service from me. You're not going to get gifts, even though you've told me and explained it to me that that's what speaks to you. Well, I'm not going to do that because that just doesn't make sense to me. That's not an equal investment. An equal investment to me in this particular area, when we're talking about acts of service and trying to learn one another's way of love and how they perceive it, is we have to have a balance. I don't expect you to get me gifts because that's my love language. But I also don't expect you to not give me gifts. I expect you to have a balance. I can't come in saying, if you don't give me gifts, it's a non-negotiable, I'm out. No, I have to say, sometimes they may think of me and say, I realize this is her love language. I'm going to do this sometimes, but then sometimes I'm going to be me and I'm going to give acts of service, and I should be doing the same thing. Or let's talk about support. If I need support I am an exercise fitness coach, and I explain to you, this is kind of what I think support is in that category. Because again, support will look different depending on what we're talking about, which is why communication is important. Hey, if I'm a fitness instructor, what will really help me is if you wipe down my yoga mats. Now, even though my love language may be acts of service, but I've now expressed to you, man, sometimes if I'm running late, helping me out with these yoga mats will be great. These are just all examples. That's support to me. And support to you could say, hey, I have this event to go to. I need you to go with me. You don't have to pack nothing. You don't have to do, hey, can you just meet me there? Please don't be late. Or what actually really would help me is, can you be there 10 minutes early? So therefore, when I pull up, I'm not pulling up into the parking lot. I'm pulling up. I see your car. Boom. We vibing. I get a little strength and encouragement just from that. Granted, that might not be an act of service to them, but in the support category, in this particular section, this is what they're telling you they need. That's an equal investment. But you can't say, oh, well, why didn't you clean my gym clothes? You know, I be going to playing basketball, or you know, I go running and my shoes stink. Well, that might not be what you felt was support to you. So therefore, it won't look the exact same because we are individuals with, like I said in the video before, and the video before that, so go take a look. We have to respect that we're individuals, but we also have to respect that we're dealing with another individual. And so you have to get to a place where you feel confident and say, you know what? I'm at a place where I need whatever dynamic that I'm in after I define it, if it's important to me, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, if you just pass the time and you don't care and you wasting people's time, this ain't the video for you. But I'm talking about when you're trying to really nurture a healthy relationship, you want to have those conversations. Why? I give this example all the time. What is the point of going to a restaurant, ordering your food, and the waitress brings out something else? Unless you're aware that you're going to a restaurant and the restaurant says, well, we'll take your order, but just know we're going to bring you out the chef's choice. Now you become okay with that. But I don't understand how we can function in life. When we go get gas, we expect to put a certain amount in, and we expect to get that amount of gas. When we go to work, we're expected to put a certain amount of hours in. We will get paid for that, right? There's a communication. We understand what the contract is, what the rate of pay is, and you agree to that. There's going to be some give and take. The job's going to have to adapt to you a little bit. You're going to have to adapt to the job a little bit, et cetera, et cetera. We understand that with everything we do in life. But when it comes to one another, two things. We don't understand it when it comes to handling each other. And then we also don't have enough strength to realize I don't have to be in a dynamic that's not an equal investment for me. If I go to a restaurant here again and I order an item and the waiter gives me something completely different, I'm going to have a problem with that. So if you're dealing with people and they're saying to you, you don't have to agree. You don't have to grow up this way. You may think what I'm saying is completely stupid, if you will, or whatever you want to say. But because we've come into an agreement that this is the dynamic that we have, if I'm telling you this is what helps me, this is what gives me life. Again, a person is not fully responsible for your happiness, for the things that you like, for the things that gives you life, for the things that whatever the case may be. But they are responsible to add to. So no, you're not responsible to give me gifts and I don't have to do nothing for myself. No, that's not fair. But you are responsible to have a balance and to say, I want to still be me, but also be able to make some adjustments so that I can give them what they need. Because if you're going to be in something and not try your best to give that person what they're expressing to you, you wasting everybody's time. And sadly, you wasting your own time. I'm not saying we don't care, I'm not saying it doesn't matter to waste somebody else's time, but the bigger picture is you're wasting all of your time. And typically I find when people do that, you're willing to waste your time because you're the only one benefiting. So of course you're not going to walk away from the person. They giving you everything you need. Of course you're not going to walk away. Of course you may try to act like, but deep down inside you ain't going to walk away because you like, man, they flexible, they understanding. When I'm wrong, they'll take it. When I'm right, they'll take it. When I'm this, they the bigger person, they'll love me, da-da-da. Of course you're going to stay in it because you're benefiting. But we have to normalize, hey, I'm not, at a certain age, I'm not, and nowadays the way society is, that goalpost has moved up. You can't be over 30 no more, child. You got to start having this stuff when you 17, 18, because these type of friendships and stuff that be going on in relationships be crazy. And guess what? Understanding that you don't want to be in anything that's not an equal investment. Watch this. We're not talking about the person has to hit on all cylinders at all times, 24 hours, 7 days a week and never make a mistake. That's not realistic because you can't even hold up to that standard. But it's okay to say, no, I need to be able to gain something from this. Whether it's gain strength, whether it's gaining understanding, whether it's a gain of this person is helping me with my attitude, this person is helping me balance my feelings, this person is helping me open up my eyes of understanding to be able to just live life and not be so uptight. Whatever it may be, you should be having a gain. And you should not be willing to sacrifice multiple areas in your life because you have one or two gains going for you. And a lot of times we get confused. Somebody could be a good person. It doesn't mean that they're for you. You can have a couple of things. You can say, man, you have a lot of things that are good about you, but in these particular areas, I realize this particular area stresses me. So while you're a good person, you really stress me here, and it's an ongoing stress. And unfortunately, that's not good for my mental because you're not willing to make any adjustments, and that doesn't work. But here's the caveat to that. You have to be okay with letting go, moving forward, working on yourself. Like I talked about in the other video, you have to be okay with putting yourself out there, fostering and engaging in new relationships, or just enjoying your own company. Because what I'm finding time and time again is what the devil is having us do is the devil is making us settle, which when we're settling, we're clogging and we're stopping our lives for what could come to us. God is saying, hey, I'm trying to get you this. I want you to have a better friend, a better this. And it doesn't make that person wrong or bad or evil. And the people that are wrong, bad, and evil, this is not what this video is for. But sometimes because of human nature, we'd rather hold on to the bare minimum instead of saying, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to trust God. And even if that's going to feel like a season of loneliness, not, oh my gosh, I'm so lonely, I'm depressed, not that, but there's a time and a season for everything. Even if that says, man, I have to take and put this person over here. Okay, I can't talk to this person like I used to. Okay, this person can't be in my life. But guess what? I have to embrace what comes with my decisions, because if I'm going to make a choice to be better, to be healthier, and find something that's going to give me an equal investment, I also know that that's going to cost me something. But let me help you free you. Let me help free you. Because some people are like, I know, but that's just so hard to do and da-da-da. Well, let me ask you this. What has staying where you are got you? What has staying in that relationship gained you? What has staying in that friendship gained you? What has staying at that job gained you? The bare minimum? Okay, so they cool sometimes, but then 50% of the time or 70% of the time they giving you a headache. They're stressing you out. They're not willing to listen, not willing to compromise. They da-da-da. So what have you gained from that? So you would rather mask a few moments of happiness and enjoyment because you scared to embrace your season of being to yourself, working on yourself, changing your focus, and learning from your experience from that relationship or that dynamic, and saying, God, I'm going to trust you because I believe that it's a season to put this situation down or not deal with this individual or whatever the case may be. God, I pray that you begin to work on them and move in their heart. And God, I pray you do the same for me. As a matter of fact, I know you'll do it, but I got to embrace this because right now, the dynamic is lopsided. I'm not gaining anything. And what you all don't realize is, and I'm sure you do, but I'm saying this loosely, what you don't realize is you settling, you think that you're at your max potential. There's nothing like when you have money in your pocket, you're feeling good about yourself, you like handle your problems differently. Even though everything ain't all good, but everything really ain't all bad, and you like, you know what, I can kind of get through this. When you can go through something and you know somebody is there with you, you gonna handle it differently. You gonna see it differently. You gonna have a little bit more strength. But if you're taxing me emotionally and mentally, but I'm so afraid to embrace this season of I may just have to focus on me, I'd rather just hold on to it. Why? I'm never gonna reach my full potential. It's going to start to spill over in other areas of my life. I'm not going to really be able to have the focus that I need to, have the determination that I need to. Watch this. Have the level of peace that I need to. Why? Because we need to stay together for the kids. Well, we've been friends for X amount of years because that's my uncle, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my BFF. Oh, that's it. No. You got to be able to say, God, remove anything that is not a benefit to me and that I'm not benefiting. Because here's where you really keep it P. When you know you're not in a good place, you got to be mature enough to tell people, I love you so much, but I'm not I'm not in a good place. I don't want to give you the wrong advice. I don't want to respond out of emotion. I don't want to blah, 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 blah. But you know how many people ain't willing to do that? Because we selfish. Because we just, hopefully, and again, you got to hear me with maturity. But what about when you ain't in a good place and you ain't serving nobody in your life with healthiness? Because you got too much going on. It's been plenty of times I done had to tell my son, not today. Today is not the best day, and I don't want to be taking it out on you or da-da-da-da. But how many of us, knowing we working on stuff, knowing we got all this trauma and crap going on, but we still want the person to have a relationship and deal with our selfishness and our mess and our dynamic? That's not fair. Be man or woman enough to say, you know what, I don't got it all together. And I realize I be popping off, snapping off, saying crazy stuff. And I need to just stop doing that. Watch this. Not because it's not fair to you. I shouldn't even keep functioning like that. I'm grown. I need to get myself together. And it's not fair for me to drag you through that. Sometimes we got to put ourselves on timeout because we're not a benefit to people. But we think because the title that we have with people, again, best friend, fiance, husband, and I'm not encouraging husband and fiancés and wives and stuff to just leave your husband or wife. No. But let's be honest, baby, I need a couple days. Baby, I need to go ahead and sign up for therapy. So I just need you to be patient. Why? Because I'm going to ask you to be patient if I'm actively working on it. But how about when we gonna be honest? You know what, baby? I realize I've been taking this out on you because I just been laid off, and that's not cool. You know what? Right now, I'm not able to do X, Y, Z. Not because I don't want to, but let me go ahead and put this work in. And I'm getting ready to show you I'm gonna put this work in. Now, this can come from a man or a woman. But how many of us don't want to do that? How many of us don't want to be honest with people? When we got too much going on and we inflicting our trauma and our pain and our issues and our lack of accountability onto people. Because again, why do we do that? Because you don't want that person out your life because you're benefiting. You benefiting from them being there for you after you done mishandled them over and over. And they trying to be patient and they trying to do this and they trying to do that. And they keep letting you slide. Of course you're going to want to be in there like you don't want them to walk away because you benefiting. But that's not fair to that person. So we got to know where we at. And this time out, I don't care what the title is. And this is why I put it on us as an individual that when you're not healthy, you got to assess. But we just say, well, at the end of the day, you always going to need family. Child, it's 2024. I know people that have family members that have done them worse than friends, if you will. So sorry. Whatever title you have as a family member, I still require love, respect, kindness, understanding.